Hey, hello, Floss Tube. It's Rebecca, the Route 66 Stitcher, and I am back. It has been 6 months since my last Floss Tube, and I had all good intentions, and somehow that did not happen to keep up with it more regularly. But I do have a fair amount to show you today. I have some full finishes, fully finished, and then some stitched finishes, and actually more whips than I normally have, and 2 pieces of haul. So let's get to it, shall we? First up, just trying to figure out which stash to go to, is I participated in the Modern Folk Embroidery Roxy Floss Co. Evertote Holiday Countdown. It's almost like a retreat in the box. It's the advent calendar where you stitch a little bit every day and you get a new floss and a new pattern from Jacob. And I have completed 2024. This is all kit. This is on Glacier linen from Roxy. And Roxy flosses, of course, Jacob did the pattern. And it turned out really pretty. This is my second advent box with them. I did 2023 last year and liked it so much that I came back for 2024. I was able to get the same frame for both of them, so I'm pretty happy with that. I can't find the pattern, so I don't have anything to show you as to what that looked like when it came out. It's in the bad project closet someplace, not gonna lie. The next full finish that I have for you is Plum Street Samplers Black Cherry Tart. Black Cherry Tart. And I picked this to fit specifically in a wooden bowl that I had picked up at Galleria back in 2022 at a little shop called Joseph's Workshop. You probably can't even see that. But I stitched this on a 46 count using called for colors to be able to fit inside this bowl. And finished this. Hear that satisfying sound? Using command strips, so I can change this out seasonally if I find patterns that fit, and then even better is when it crunches to go back in, right? So that's completed. What else have I finished? The last time that we talked, I was, excuse me, allergies are already kicking this spring. It's going to be bad. I was working on Nevermore from Satsuma Street. Had the kit and a Little Batty. Also had the entire kit for that. And I was able to finish those up. And I finished with a sparkly black cardstock on the back, which makes them a little bit more challenging to cut and trim. But that looks kind of dark. Let's see if I can make that look a little brighter. There we go, a little brighter. But I got those finished and put those away for Halloween at this point. Let's see where I can put that. I know you saw the full finish for the stitching for this in the March Floss Tube. I have done a fully finished item on this, and this is my full finish. I did it on a spool that I found at a thrift store that actually came with a blue enamel paint on the top of it. Was tall enough to fit it and had a pretty good width around it to be able to do a little bit of lacing in the back. And I used Christina from Whilst Iris Sleeps technique to finish that up. But that is my Dirty Annie's Greyhound Christmas. I had that done for Christmas this year. Another thing that I have done a full finish on, you saw the actual completed stitches earlier, floss tubes, is hands-on design tree farm that I picked up at Jingle Ball a couple years ago, maybe even 3 years ago at this point, wherever we are in the Jingle Balls. And I finished these using Helen Daly's finish of buying these. I guess they're guest card holders where you put your name of where people are being seated at fancy dinners. I think they would work great if I had not stitched these on a 40 count linen. These are way too big for these trees. They overwhelm the tree themselves. So I am on the lookout for something different to finish these off in, other than these tree stumps. I'll find something to put on these tree stumps. It's just not going to be these particular trees. And let's see, another full finish that I have is the blue flower. I was lucky enough to get into a retreat at Shepherd's Needle, October, November of last year, and finished Of Many Lives. Of Many Lives. And this is the sampler that I have finished, the one at the top. This bear, she gives you several animals to choose from to stitch in the place of the bear. So you can choose kind of your own house Patreon, if you will. I am actually going to stitch this for my sister for Christmas, the family tree. I got to figure out how I am going to change those branches around. Our family tree doesn't have straight branches like that. We got some ice damage and maybe some poison oak growing up in here and some pine beetles and some other stuff. Like most families, not a straight branching family tree. So I'm working on how to rework that right now. But Of Many Lives looks like this. And I chose the deer for my Patreon here at the house. And this is using the kit with the called for, with kit flosses as well. They, of course, are called for. And this is on 36 count Rustic Driftwood by XJude Design with all of the flosses. And these are all a mixture of Weeks, DMC, Cottage Garden threads, and Classic Colorworks in this kit. And so looking forward to moving on with the next project with that. Do a quick look around. Yep, that's all I have for full finishes. Now I can move on to finish stitching. Move this. The finished stitching that I have is I have completed, to move my pile, I'm sorry. I have completed the 2024 Peppermint Purple Weekly Blackwork SAL that I was working on last year. You saw it mainly completed last Floss Tube, but this is the completed project. And I will hang it with my other 4 that I haven't done anything with yet. So there's that. Oh, I have completed, oh please. Went to the Jingle Ball again this past year in 2024. And took Jeanette Douglas's specialty stitches class and made the mistake of stitching it on, because it was literally the only white that I had was a 40 count white. And you can't even really see the specialty stitches. It would have been much better done on a much lower count linen, but I was able to complete that. Next thing up is, this is from 2022 Nashville, Galleria over in St. Louis, from the Mindful Needle, called Joy. Got all of the finishing kit information in there, and I was able to finally stitch that up. Only 2 years behind on finishing those. So that'll be an easy ornament finish when done. And then I have All Is Calm from Plum Street Designs. This was in Chantel's 141, 144. Sorry, I don't remember. Ornament Box 2024. Ornament Box is one of the patterns. Don't believe it's been released for the public yet. And this is stitched on 36 count Dreamy by Mystic Fabrics using all of the called for floss. And I finally got to finish on Vicious by the Artsy Housewife. I did change the cat to not be an orange tabby, but a kind of grayish brown tabby in honor of my Luke. And this is stitched on 40 count Fog by Picture This Plus. And he's looking good. You know, he's a good looking cat. Oops, stay there. So finally finished that up. That took forever. I've only been stitching on that since it's been released. I just could not settle on the floss colors for the cat. I've redone that cat at least 6 times. And my last finish that I have is from the Quilters Station Retreat back in March or April of 2024. And that is the Blue Flower, Prairie Home. And this was the kit that we got from the retreat. And this is XJude design. This is a 40 count in marbled khaki using all of the kit flosses. I just love the little prairie dogs up here. I know that they're nuisances, but I just love them. And it turned out pretty good. It also came with, shown in last time, some extra patterns and some finishing hardware from, let's see if I can, it's called SC __ Handiworks, and she's on Etsy, and it came with the little patterns to complete this. It's a sunflower that is in the pattern itself, and you had enough extra material to choose what. I think that she gave us 6. I just couldn't resist the prairie dog. So I'm going to order a couple more of these to turn into scissor fobs with the prairie dog and the owl. So these are still kind of in play in terms of not framed yet, and certainly need to finish up those little scissor fobs as well. All right, I think I am up to whips. Am I up to whips? I'm up to whips. All right. This is Long Dog Samplers, Rollo de Rene. It's just Rollo the Reindeer. And this is on 36 count. What is it called? Midnight Tryst by Fabrics by Stephanie's. using white DMC floss, and then the called for color for the bunny. So that is coming along. That was, finally got the dog in, got the reindeer going in over here. Happy with how that is turning out. It's one of the smallest long dogs there is, so there's actually hope that I might finish it. Also, I don't know why this called to me, but it did. But this is called Griffins of the Kingdom by Rosewood Manor. And so, to help it not be 3 feet by 3 feet, I am stitching this on a 46 count linen in the color, I think, ecru. And I have 2 little beasties done, and this is being done in DMC 310. And I have not yet made decisions yet on the colors. All of the colors in the gold are metallics. Petite treasure braid, which is going to be way too thick for a 46 count. So I have not made any decisions yet on what I'm going to do to substitute for that. I'm going to work on the beasties first and then come back to that. The next thing I have is the pattern that I bought from the Stitching Studio in Victoria, Canada. And it's the Squamish Frog. And I am stitching this on 40 count Avocado by Forbidden Fiber using Avocado by Gentle Arts. This is the middle of the body. This is just filling in at this point before I start on the outside of that. So that's turning out okay. It's mindless stitching, which is great if you need something mindless just for build right now. And then I'm working very slowly but surely on the Blue Flower Festive Forest stitching. This came out at the Jingle Ball. I have the moose, reindeer, elk. I have that done. And then all the way down here to the tree and the goose is what I'm missing. And so I still have to fill in the bottom here and finish these 2 here. And this is using the kit. So the kit floss, the kit fabric, which is from Fabric on a Whim. So I just need to fill in the tree here and the little white goose, maybe a Christmas goose, and then finish the 3 on this side. So that's coming along. It's turning out to be a blue flower finishing year for me. All right. Speaking of which, the next thing I have is Forest Home, which is a companion. The Prairie Home is a companion piece of Forest Home. I am stitching this using all of the called for on 40 count flannel flower by Fox and Rabbit. And so got about a quarter of it done, but it's coming together as well. Now we are up to Plum Street Sampler, Big Folk. There we go. This came out, I want to say, in the fall. I just absolutely fell in love with these little fruit bats. I will say that this has been in the bad project closet for quite some time because it's in timeout, which is why it has. I start and finish everything from the front, so I just haven't pulled these, I'm sorry. But I haven't pulled them because I am off. somewheres. I started putting in this leaf and figured out this bat, not where it's supposed to be. So I don't know if this bat is correct or this bat's wrong, which means that bat's wrong. I'm not really sure what's going on there. And I got very frustrated trying to figure it out. So I just put it in the bad project closet for a while. I will hopefully bring this back out and frog all of that and start over at some point in the near future. Because it's cute. I really like it. It's a very cute pattern, but yeah. And I'm sorry, that was stitched on, this is stitched on Grace Note Fabrics Mojito in a 36 count. And then I have The Raven by the Primitive Hare. And I've had this pattern, I think, since it first came out. I just couldn't find the fabric that I wanted to put it on, and finally did. I will say that it's been kind of an interesting stitch so far. There are probably 25 shades of gray, brown, and navy. A lot of confetti stitching in this pattern that I probably wasn't expecting. This is 40 count Early Halloween by XJude Designs. Which brings me to this beast, which is going to be hard to manage. I'm going to try anyways. I decided to join the 2025 Chatelaine Water Garden SAL. And this is, I am up to date on March. Maggie of Kitschy Stitches has divided the pattern into 12 parts. I am up to date through the March stitching at this point, with the exception of the beading. I just will do all of that at the end. And I am waiting on April's release at the end of the month to continue on. This has been a fun stitch so far. There's not a lot of specialty stitches. There's some diamond eyelets, and we have some road stitches coming up in the next part. But other than that, not a whole lot of specialty stitches in this one so far. I am using all the called for on 32 count Friendship even weave from Oak Crown Studios. And it's a beast. I basically just keep it like this for just put it on and off of the Lowry as need be. So yeah, that's coming along pretty well. But it makes it hard to figure out what to do with. And then my travel stitches. I have a couple travel stitches going. I have a Rocky Mountain Santa, the Teton Santa, or Pikes Peak Santa, excuse me. Pikes Peak Santa that I've been working on, that was supposed to be a Christmas present for a friend, that will now be a Christmas in July present. But he's coming along. I am done with all of the cross stitching. He has more beading than I had planned on. And so I have to go back and do probably a few more hours of beading before I do his loop beard, his bow beard. Yeah, it's just white DMC in a bow to make his beard. And then I am also working on Trilogy 2, the Advent Trilogy 2. I finished Advent 1. Showed that to you, I think, in the last Floss Tube. So now I'm working on set 2. And I have gotten pretty much nowheres on that. Just got 3 of the 9 squares outlined. But that's what I have going on in terms of whips. The only thing left is plans. Plans are, I'm working on that Of Many Lives tree and trying to redraw some of those lines, the branches. And other than that, just continue working on my whips and banging some of them out. I did pick up, the last time I was in Tulsa at the Silver Needle, I picked up Celtic Santa, the Scotland Santa, to be the next up in the travel stitch kit after I finish Rocky Mountain Santa and Advent 2 calendar. And the other piece of haul I have is my Fabric of the Month Club just came in this week from Fabrics by Stephanie, and this is 40 count Winter Wishes, which is, it's actually giving darker on screen than it is. It's a little lighter. And so that's basically haul. I did order a couple pieces of fabric and the new colors from Classic Colorwork and Gentle Arts for Nashville, but they have not been delivered yet. They're in the mail somewheres. But other than that, I have nothing. So thank you for coming along with this ride. I do appreciate your time and your support. And I will see you on the next Floss Tube.